Hello everyone, continuing with unit 2, that is dynamic force analysis. In this session we'll be discussing about dynamically equivalent system. As in the previous few lectures we have studied about introduction to dynamic force analysis, various definitions, then dynamic analysis of slider crank mechanism. We have calculated velocities and acceleration of the slider crank mechanism, and we did with the engine force analysis. So today we'll be starting with dynamically equivalent system. So for this, let's consider a rigid body of mass m having center of gravity at say point G. This rigid body has an external acceleration force F, which is at a perpendicular distance of say small e from point G. Let the moment of inertia of the rigid body is say I, that is, let G be the center of gravity of the rigid body, I is the moment of inertia of the body about perpendicular axis through G, F is ma, alpha is angular acceleration, and small e represents perpendicular distance of F from G. So according to dynamically equivalent system, we can replace this rigid body by a massless link having 2 point masses say m1 and m2 at two different positions say B and D, which are say at a distance of small b and small d from the axis of center of gravity. That is, the distance BG is small b and the distance GD is small d, and B and D are the points of application of point masses m1 and m2. So if a rigid link is replaced by a according to dynamically equivalent system, it means that a rigid link can be replaced by a link with 2 point masses m1 and m2 in such a way that it has same motion as the rigid link when subjected to same force. That means if we have a rigid link of mass m having center of gravity at G and moment of inertia I, and it is replaced by a massless link having 2 point masses m1 and m2, which is at a distance of small b and d from the center of gravity. So according to dynamically equivalent system, this massless link will have the same properties, dynamical properties, as the rigid link. That means it will have the same linear acceleration and angular acceleration as the rigid link if it satisfies the three conditions. Or we can say the center of mass of the equivalent link has same linear and angular acceleration. Any distributed mass can be replaced by 2 point masses to have the same dynamical properties if number 1, the sum of 2 point masses is equal to the total mass of the body. That is, if the total mass of the body is m and 2 point masses are m1 and m2, so m should be equals to m1 plus m2. Second, the center of gravity of two masses coincides with that of the body. That is, if G is the center of gravity and G is the center of gravity of the 2 point masses which are on this massless link, so it must coincide with that of the body. That is, m1 into the distance b, that is m1 into b should be equals to m2 into d. That is, m1 into b should be equals to m2 into d. And the third and the last condition is the sum of the mass moment of inertia of the masses about their center of gravity is equal to the mass moment of inertia of the body. That is, the mass moment of inertia of the body I should be equals to the sum of mass moment of inertia of this point masses about their center of gravity. That is, m1 into b square plus m2 into d square should be equals to I. That is, m1 into b square plus m2 into d square should be equals to I. And if these three conditions are satisfied, then this rigid link can be replaced by a massless link, and it is said to be an equivalent dynamical system, and this will have the same dynamical properties. That means it will have the same linear and angular acceleration as that of this rigid link. Clear? So what we studied is, if m is equals to m1 plus m2, m1 into b is equals to m2 into d, and I is equals to, and if I is equals to m1 into b square plus m2 into d square, where m1 and m2 are the 2 point masses, b and d are the distance of m1 and m2 respectively from point G, and when these three conditions are satisfied, then it is said to be an equivalent dynamical system. Also, as F is equals to, as force F does not pass through center of gravity, that is, it is at a distance of E from the center of gravity, and F is equals to ma. So inertial torque I into alpha is equals to F into E. So we can write alpha as Fe upon I. Clear? Now next, let's start with inertia of connecting rod by considering dynamically equivalent system. Suppose we have a connecting rod AB having center of gravity at say G. The distance between AG is say small a, and the distance between BG is say small b. Let it be replaced by a dynamically equivalent system having 2 point masses at point D, and which is at a distance of small d from the center of gravity, and at point B, that is MB, which is at a distance of small b from center of gravity. This D is any arbitrary point on this massless link which is at a distance of small d from center of gravity, and we are considering that this system behaves as a dynamically equivalent system. So let m is the mass of the connecting rod, I is the moment of inertia of the connecting rod, MA, MB and MD are point masses at point A, B and D respectively on a massless link. G is the center of gravity. Let the connecting rod be replaced by a massless link with 2 point masses at B and D. In the first case, we are considering 2 point masses at point B and D at a distance of small b and d respectively from G, as I just said. So according to dynamically equivalent system, capital M should be equals to MB plus MD. Let it be equation 1. Also MB into small b should be equals to MD into small d. Yes, that is the second condition for dynamically equivalent system. Or we can write MD as MB into B upon D. Put this value of MD in equation 1, that is putting value of MD from equation 3 in equation 1, we get M is equals to MB plus MB into B upon D. Take MB common, it becomes mb 1 plus b by d, or we can write mb as this mb as m into d upon b plus d. Let it be equation 4. Similarly, we can write md as m into b upon b plus d. This b plus d is the distance between bd. Let it be equation 5. Put the values of mb and md in, say, third condition, that is I is equals to mb into b square plus md into d square, where I is the moment of inertia of the connecting rod. So putting the value of mb as m into d upon b plus d and md as m into b upon b plus d in equation 6, that is putting value of mb and md from 4 and 5 in equation 6, we get m d upon b plus d into b square plus m b upon b plus d into d square. Take mbd common, we have b plus d upon b plus d, which is equals to I, which is equals to mbd. Let it is equation 7. Now this analysis would be more convenient if we take 2 point masses at two extreme ends, that is at two bearing ends A and B. Instead of taking at any intermediate position between A and B, we take it at position A and B. From the last equation we have derived I equals to mbd. Now, as I just said, analysis will be convenient if 2 point masses are at two bearing ends, that is at A and B. So let mass at A is MA and mass at B is MB, and the distance between AG is, say, small a. So now again, according to dynamically equivalent system, M will be equals to MA plus MB, same. Second condition, MB into B is equals to MA into A, let it be equation 9. Then MA will be equals to MB into B upon A, as we have just done in the last slide, that is MA is equals to MB into B upon A. Put this value of MA from equation 10 in equation 8, we get M is equals to MB plus B upon A. Take MB common, it is 1 MB into 1 plus B by A. So MB will be equals to M therefore MB is equals to M into A upon B plus A. Let it be equation 11. Then MA is equals to M B upon B plus A, in the same way as we have done with MB. So it is with MA. Put this value of MA and MB in the third equation of dynamically equivalent system, that is I dash is equals to MB into B square plus MA into A square. So from 11 and 12 we will place the value of MB and MA in 13. So we get I dash is equals to M into A upon B plus A into B square plus M B upon B plus A into A square. Take MBA common, we get I dash as MBA. Now I is equals to MBD when we have taken 2 points at B and D, and I dash is equals to MBA when we have taken 2 points at two extreme ends, that is A and B. So this M common, B common, D, that is the distance between point D from G, is less as compared to distance of point A from capital A from G. So A is greater than D, therefore I dash is greater than I, and since it is a dynamically equivalent system, alpha is common, so I dash into alpha C is greater than I into alpha C, that is inertia torque. So we can say that T dash is greater than T. That means by considering 2 point masses at two extreme ends instead of any other two positions, there is increase in torque. That is, this means that by considering two masses at A and B instead of at D and B, the inertia torque is increased from actual value. This increase is, say, delta T. The error, that is T dash minus T, is corrected by incorporating correction couple, that is delta T. This delta T is equals to T dash minus T, or we can say I dash alpha C minus I into alpha C. In place of I dash, from equation 14 we can write MBA into alpha C minus MBD into alpha C. Take MB and alpha C common, we get A minus D. Now add and subtract B from the equation, we get MB into alpha C bracket A plus B minus D into B plus D. We have added B and we have subtracted B. This A plus B is equals to the length of connecting rod. It is represented by small l, and this B plus D or D plus B is the distance between capital B and capital D, that is point of application of the point mass MB and MD. So we can write MB alpha C into bracket small l minus capital L. This represents correction couple. So let's take the example of correction torque and correction couple in a application where a connecting rod is attached in a slider crank mechanism. So here you can see that AB is a connecting rod of length L having center of gravity at G, same as we have done with this rod. This rod has been taken into the slider crank mechanism. D is the point of application of MD. The distance between B and D is capital L, and the distance between B and A is small l. And we know that correction couple delta T is equals to MB alpha C into L minus L, as we have just derived. Now consider on this slider crank mechanism, this correction couple will be due to the two force equal and opposite parallel forces at point B and A, that is delta T must be supplied, and this delta T, that is correction couple, must be supplied opposite to inertia torque, which is opposite to angular acceleration. That means this correction couple is applied opposite to inertia torque, and inertia torque is opposite to angular acceleration. Or we can say that angular acceleration and correction couple have the same directions. Therefore angular acceleration and correction couples are in same direction. That is, if angular acceleration is clockwise, so delta T will also be clockwise and vice versa. Also, this delta T, that is correction couple, is produced by two equal, opposite and parallel forces. Couple is always formed by two equal, opposite and parallel forces, say Fy, which are acting at point B, that is gudgeon pin, and crank pin, that is A. ends and perpendicular to line of action of the piston. That is, this delta T is produced by two forces Fy which are at point B and A, which are equal in magnitude, opposite in direction and parallel to each other. So the delta T can be written as the force into perpendicular distance, that is Fy into distance, say if this angle is beta, we have drawn a perpendicular, so this will be L cos beta. So delta T can be written as Fy into L cos beta, where L cos beta is the perpendicular distance between two equal forces at point A and B which are perpendicular to line of action, that is perpendicular to horizontal line of the slider. Therefore Fy can be written as delta T upon L cos beta. Also, as there is an external force, or we can say as there is a force at point A and point A is on this crank OA, so it will develop some torque on the crankshaft. Turning moment at crankshaft due to force at A, that is due to force at A, that is Fy will be Fy into perpendicular distance, that is R cos theta. So we can write correction torque, it is represented as correction torque Tc is equals to force, that is Fy into perpendicular distance, that is R cos theta, and we put this value of Fy from the above equation, that is Fy is equals to delta T upon L cos beta. So correction torque is equals to delta T upon L cos beta, that is the value of Fy, into R cos theta, that is equals to delta T upon N cos beta into cos theta, where N is the ratio of L by R. Also cos beta is 1 by n under root n square minus sin square theta, as we have proved in the last two lectures continuously. So cos beta is equals to 1 by n under root n square minus sin square theta. So replace it in the above equation. So Tc becomes delta T cos theta upon n under root n square minus sin square theta, that is correction torque Tc is equals to delta T cos theta upon under root n square minus sin square theta. We have replaced this cos beta with 1 by n under root n square minus sin square theta. So n cos beta is written as under root n square minus sin square theta, where delta T is correction couple, Tc is correction torque, theta is the angle of this crank, and small n represents the ratio of length of connecting rod, that is small l by r, that is radius of crank. So we are done with dynamically equivalent system, condition required for dynamically equivalent system, what happens when a system becomes dynamically equivalent, what is correction torque and what is correction couple, and what are the magnitudes and the effect of direction of correction couple and correction torque. Clear? For more videos you can subscribe directly to my YouTube channel, that is Gagan Bansal, or for any query you can mail me at gaganbansal12345@gmail.com और gaganbansal@geu.ac.in. Thank you so much.